painting you are about to see is one of the most terrifying depictions of Satan in the history of art, but not in the way you might expect. The artist did not need to paint deformed creatures or infernal landscapes to unsettle the viewer. Every element of this painting is designed to convey a message far more disturbing and far deeper than any of that. From the mass of writhing bodies tangled at the bottom of a dark abyss, the glowing red tentacles that drift through the water like liquid embers, the hair that explodes in a nest of orange fire, and of course, the chillingly detached expression with which this figure looks down at the chaos. This work is called Satan's Treasures. It was painted by the Belgian artist Jean Delville in 1895, and today it is held at the Royal Museums of Fine Arts in Brussels. Jean Delville was a fairly important figure in his time, though unfortunately he is an artist that almost nobody outside serious art circles knows today. He was a painter, a philosopher, a writer, and a leading figure in the esoteric and occult movements of late 19th century Europe. We could say he was an extraordinarily active figure in the cultural life of the time, but this painting, which is without question the most well-known work of his entire career, is also the most unusual. If we look at the few works by this artist that survived today, we can see that he spent most of his career painting idealized figures, spiritual visions, and scenes filled with mystical light. This is exactly why this painting of Satan stands out so sharply from the rest of his work. But to understand why Delville painted this image, it is important to know the context in which he was living at that moment. When we place ourselves in the year 1895, we have to keep in mind that Europe was going through a moment of profound cultural unease. Science and industrialization were shaking the foundations of traditional faith. In that climate of uncertainty, artists like Delville used their work as a way of exploring what the outside world was trying to ignore. Delville was deeply involved in a secret society called the Salon de la Rose plus Croix, and he was a follower of theosophy, a belief system that looked for the hidden spiritual truths behind the physical world. And it is precisely there that this painting begins to make complete sense, where the very concept of treasures becomes the central argument of the work. When we look at this work, the first thing that draws our attention is the posture of the central figure. From the title, we know that the man hovering before us is Satan, and he is positioned at the top of a massive underwater void. Something curious about this painting is that he is not attacking anyone, nor does he appear threatening as we have seen in other depictions. Here he hovers comfortably, and his posture is that of a ruler. Delville painted him with a beautiful, almost classical torso, but as we look closer at his back, we discover a detail that changes everything. He is equipped with a pair of massive, scaly wings that wrap around his body like a dark cloak. If we look closely at these wings, we notice the intricate detail of the scales, which have a metallic, almost oily sheen. They are not feathered or bird-like, they are reptilian, sweeping down from his shoulders and coiling around him as if he were a predator that has just landed on his prey. His hair is a wild explosion of orange fire that provides the only light in this dark world. And if we look at the way it is painted, it seems to be clutching at the space around his head, as if the fire itself has a life of its own. Even his hands are worth noting. They are elegant but claw-like, with long fingers that seem to be conducting the energy of the red tentacles that grow out of his body and drift downward, subtly intertwining with the struggling masses below. Now, when we stop looking at the protagonist of the painting and begin to explore the rest of the composition, we find a number of details that reveal the true meaning of this work. Beneath him spreads a massive heap of naked bodies, tangled together in a way that suggests a coral reef or a geological formation. In the symbolic tradition Delville followed, this represented the total loss of the spirit. These people are not being punished by fire, they are drowning in their own material weight. If we examine the way Delville painted these bodies, we can see his extraordinary skill as a draftsman. Every muscle is tensed, every limb is stretched to its limit. They are clawing at one another in a desperate attempt to stay afloat, but they are all sinking at the same speed. There is a specific detail in the lower left corner where two figures are so tightly entwined that they seem to be merging into a single mass of flesh. This was Delville's way of showing how the pursuit of physical pleasure and material greed eventually strips away our individuality. We become nothing more than biological matter, a treasure to be collected and discarded. The water itself is also worth a closer look. It is not clear or life-giving. It is thick and viscous, reflecting the orange fire from above in a way that makes the whole scene look like it is glowing from the inside. This phosphorescence was a key element in symbolist art, used to suggest a reality that is not quite physical. It is a space between life and death, a place where the soul is weighed and found wanting. This is where we come to the true meaning of the treasures. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the entire scene is bathed in an aquatic gloom. The ideal way to read this painting, in my opinion, would be from the bottom up. We start at the very base, looking at the heap of bodies that have become nothing more than wet, tangled matter. We see the desperate struggle, the hands reaching out for a surface that doesn't exist. As we raise our eyes, we follow those red, fiery tentacles upward through the murky water, and at a certain point we find ourselves face to face with this figure looking down with total indifference. With all of this in mind, the message is fairly clear. This painting was not made to frighten us with gore, since it has no truly terrifying element on its own. What is disturbing is the message it conceals, that the more we care about physical things, the more we lose our spiritual self. The treasures are the desires that trap us, and the pile at the bottom is not made of victims, but of souls that simply became too heavy to stay afloat. Delville believed that the greatest evil was not an external force, but the internal corruption of the human spirit. Something curious is that Jean Delville spent his whole life trying to show people a path to enlightenment. He was obsessed with the idea of the ideal and the elevation of the soul. This makes Satan's treasures even more significant because it is the only time he allowed himself to look into the abyss. What we do know is that in this painting, he left one of the most unusual and most disturbing depictions of the fall we have ever seen, with a message far deeper than anything we might imagine at first glance. It is a vision of a world where everyone is trying to save themselves by stepping on someone else, only to realize that they are all going to the same place anyway. I would love for you to leave me in the comments whether you share this interpretation of the painting, or whether, on the contrary, you think it could have a completely different meaning. I will be reading every single interpretation in the comments. As always, thank you for watching the video until the end, and I will see you in the next video.